Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bookshelf Chronicles with Auntie Kadian. And guess what? We are diving into another amazing book. And this time, it's all about building a home full of grace, written by John and Susan Yates and their family just the same. Now, I want to give you guys a sneak peek in regards to how this book has been very impactful to my life. This book has literally sent me in a very reflective mood. Recent, like every time I read, I have to reflect and like, okay, let me put this down, let me reflect, let me go talk to God. And I really hope you guys will be able to pick up a copy of it. It's available on Amazon, and you guys will be able to read and get that sense of reflection that I am experiencing. You'll also get to feel whole. In that case, you will also be reminded of the fact that you ought to demonstrate grace and you need to give grace to yourself just as though you're busy giving it to others. So, I hope it will help you. And if you are unable to get a copy of the book, I do hope reading portions of the book and just having my own crazy commentary will help you, likewise sharing my 2 cents of, sharing about my personal life will actually help. So I'm gonna go straight into it. I am starting at the introduction, and this portion was written by John. So, my wife, Susan, and I had been married for about a year. We loved each other dearly, but things were not going well. The level of frustration we had reached with each other was greater than any we had ever experienced. I was in graduate school, and Susan was working full time. We were trying to save money to buy our own home, thinking of having children, and working at establishing the habits necessary for building a mature relationship and meeting all of our responsibilities. Our families lived far away, and we were on our own. Now, as I read that introduction, I know a lot of young people are able to relate to this, especially if you're in college, you're in university, you're with someone, you want to get married, you guys have goals, you guys have plans, you might have just gotten married. Yes, it's relatable. Anyways, let me go continue. So we were fortunate in so many ways. We had loving families and close friends, but at that moment, we were in the midst of an argument. And all we could think about was how incredibly selfish and stubborn the other was being. How on earth could this person be so unreasonable? The argument escalated, and as it did, our sadness and disappointment grew until my wife exclaimed in utter frustration, "Maybe we shouldn't have gotten married in the first place. I don't think you'll ever understand me or what is really important to me in this marriage. Maybe we should just forget the whole thing. Maybe it's just not going to work." No, his wife has shared this. Ladies and gents, let's face it, right? We're in relationships, sometimes even with our children, and sometimes they're like, oh my God, I don't think it can work. We are human beings. Teeth and tongue will meet, but it's how we navigate. And we're gonna continue reading, but as you may be encountering your own challenges, ladies and gents, and boys and girls, if you're listening, I want to remind you that it's very important for you to pause, take a step back, and rethink before you open your mouth and utter words you may regret. Be very intentional about what you're saying and what you're doing, and also how it will impact the other person and also affect you. Let's continue. So, sooner or later, nearly all married couples have an experience like ours. Couples may experience a combination of anger and disappointment, of hurt, resentment, so great as to release a flood of fear and remorse that can cause them to doubt they will ever be able to understand or satisfy each other. All of us want a loving, joyful, intimate family life. Perhaps, perhaps you have glimpsed it, heard about it, or even been one of the very fortunate persons who have experienced it yourself. You may have confidence about how to build your own home into a strong and supportive family team. Or you may be one for whom building a home that is truly happy and loving and is a shelter from the world's cruelties is a daunting challenge. All of us need guidance. We need encouragement and wisdom beyond our own experience to maintain a marriage relationship that is ever deepening and growing stronger, while at the same time we are raising children to be joyful, thoughtful men and women who will fulfill God's purpose for their own life. And that is so true because at some point in our lives, if we're being honest with ourselves and others, we naturally want to have a loving, a joyful, a very intimate family life, just as what John is saying. Like we all desire that. If you're coming from a dysfunctional home, you desire it. And even if you're coming from a functional home, you also desire it. This is something that we naturally want to accomplish. All right. So continuing, children can produce their own set of frustrations in parents by wearing us down or wearing us out. For instance, it's the seventh night in a row that you've been up with your colicky baby and you don't know how you can stand it another night. Or your 3-year-old son or your 13-year-old daughter has pushed you to the limit, defying you and disobeying you repeatedly until you find yourself having feelings towards this child that no parent ever wants to feel. You ask yourself, how in the world did I ever get myself into this? Life used to be so much simpler. At these painful points in family life, we need answers to tough questions, and we need a perspective that will see us through such moments. We will benefit if we have a sense of clarity about the long-range goals towards which we are heading. If we lack these foundational tools, we may give up and in the end miss out on some of the very richest of all of life's blessings. I agree here. Now, John goes on to say, we live in an age that has witnessed a dramatic pulling apart of families in America. At least 40% of children are not living with their biological fathers. Young men are confused about what it means to be a husband and father. Young women are perplexed about this question as well. It is a time in which those in families need not only guidance but grace as well. That quality we can receive abundantly through Jesus Christ. Because of grace, ladies and gents, really and truly, or failures to achieve the kind of family relationships we desire can become a stepping stone toward a deeper, richer family life. And I definitely agree with John here. I cannot tell you I disagree. I agree with what he's saying. And I hope as I'm reading, ladies and gents, boys and girls, you're internalizing and reflecting on your very own life, your very own family that you currently have, or the one that you had in the past if you're on your own right now, and what you desire in the future. Let me continue. Grace says, I am with you for the long haul. Even though we will repeatedly let each other down, our love is not based on each other's performance. We do not give up on each other. Instead, we keep on learning together. We forgive. We give each other the benefit of the doubt, and we look to God to help us grow. Listen, ladies and gents, boys and girls, this is a powerful thing. If you're in a marriage, if you're in a relationship, even with your children, you need to remember, listen, we're in this together. We're gonna learn. We're gonna forgive. We're gonna keep pushing on because guess what? God is in the midst of it, and He's gonna help us to overcome. We're gonna go to New City. We're gonna pray. We're gonna put this house, under the blood of Jesus Christ. We have to do that, especially because we are living in perilous times. All right, let me continue. So there is no greater sweetness and joy in life than that of a full and loving home life. Few challenges are greater than those that will seem to block our progress as we seek to make our marriages work and as we try to raise our children in the way that is best. Although there are simple shortcuts in building a strong family, there are lessons to be learned along the way. And godly principles, which if followed, will guard us against many of the forces that seek to wound and destroy families. Two resources will help. Two resources will help, ladies and gents, boys and girls. One, biblical wisdom regarding family life, and two, the experience of others who have successfully traveled the path before us. Ladies and gents, really and truly, these resources will provide us with the perspective and hope many of us currently lack. But we must take the time to seek out this wisdom. You probably long to have a happy, healthy, and truly Christian family, but perhaps your own upbringing did not adequately prepare you to shape the sort of home life you want. Your upbringing may have been unduly strict, or your family may have been fragmented and disconnected earlier on. You may have lacked the closeness and security you desire for your own children. Perhaps you find it difficult to describe exactly what you are seeking in your own life. If that is the case for you, ladies and gents, well, stay tuned for our second episode where we will be looking at what is the Christian family. So was just an introduction to the book. And if you want to hear more, of course, subscribe and like, share with a friend. And of course, I'll catch you for another episode where I'll be taking you guys into chapter 1. What is a Christian family? By John. And we'll be looking at even Bible scriptures. So, hey, stay tuned and you will be amazed. Catch you guys very soon, everyone. Thank you for listening. Remember, it's Bookshelf Chronicles with Auntie Kadian, and we are reading and, of course, having our own commentary on Building a Home Full of Grace, written by John and Susan Yates, and of course, their family. See you guys soon.